Hitman's Wise Bodyguard, the sequel to the 2017-2018 movie Hitman's Bodyguard. And the thing about the first film was, I rented it on a rainy day. I enjoyed it what it was. Didn't thought it was anything special. So walking into the theater, it became one of those movies where you go and watch the sequel and you're like, I don't remember a fucking thing that happened in the first film. So hopefully they do a bit of a recap. I hope they don't assume that people know what happened. And thank goodness they realized that, Hitman, but the first film probably wasn't a film that a lot of people would quickly remember the events of. So they do a little bit of recapping, a bit of flashback footage from the first film and all kind of stuff. So that's good. But the thing about this movie, about Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, is that it's kind of like the first movie, where it's a movie that I would rent. Like, if I wasn't doing YouTube and reviewing movies, I probably would just rent this, wait on Netflix, or rent this on, Amazon Prime or Google Play or whatever, video rental services they are, and watch it there, because this movie is kind of a rental film, and it's because it's fine. And the weird thing about the movie is that I did check the one time before recording this, and I was like, I think this movie is 2 hours long, or slightly under, or slightly over, and it's 100 minutes. It's a 1 hour and 40 minute film, and it just felt a little bit too long, even from the length. But at the same time, it's like, you realize, no, it's not that it's too long, it's too short. And they sweats the ending too much. Like, it felt like the middle half of the film, and seeing the three characters and seeing the three actors bickering for 40 minutes is great. It's absolutely great. The chemistry between Ryan Reynolds, Sarah Hyatt, and Samuel L. Jackson are great. But in the first half of the film, you can easily tell they really want to just get them in, get the three of them together as quickly as possible, and not deal with character development. If it did, or have a bit of breathing room or whatever, because it felt very rushed. It felt like they just wanted to get to the point, and which I am a person who's a fan of that, but it just didn't work here. It just felt they just wanted to get the three of them away, which I'm not complaining. It's great, and they just want to get to the main plot. I get it, but knowing that, okay, Ryan Reynolds' character, he's suffering from PTSD from the events of the first film, and he's taking vacation, and his vacation is 30 seconds, because then there's gunfire. I'm like, just take time, breathe. Let's breathe, let's this first half, breathe it in. So I'm sweats that in. But then the third act happens, and they do the whole thing of one of the characters have a sort of connection to the villain, and you're and because of it, you're kind of adding an extra 20 minutes onto it because of it. I'm like, this is unnecessary. This is just dragging on the plot. Is the action great? Yeah. They do the one take movement, they do a little bit of, Daredevil type action and all that. But I felt like this movie could have ended when they did that reveal of these characters kind of know each other and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, because it did kind of reach to the point of, it's about to hit the third act, and then it kind of stopped, and then it just switches along, and it just wasn't. I just felt like, can we wrap this up a little bit? And it's fine. The movie's fine, but all these problems there. I mean, you got Antonio Banderas being the villain. His character's basically a Bond villain. Let's be honest. He's a Bond villain that you would see in a Roger Moore film who has a massive plan because this massive plan to explore Europe for the attack of Greece and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, fine, he's a one-note villain. I guess you got Antonio Banderas, so you can have a little bit more depth to a one-note villain, but it's like Morgan Freeman's character. I thought it was neat, and then they do a big twist with his character. And I'm like, it just felt tacked on towards it. So yeah, I mean, if you're interested in this movie, I would just wait 45 days later when it's past its theatrical window and just rent it when it's not $30 or something for a rental. So when it's like $7. So yeah, just rent this movie. It's fine, but it's not something I would rush to the theater to.